Hello everyone, I hope you're all fine and well. Today I'm going to talk about a country named Malaysia and its legends. But before all that, I want to talk about the country Malaysia by itself. Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia and it's a federal constitutional monarchy, which is a country divided by different polities that are governed by a monarchy which at the same time it's limited by a constitution. Malaysia consists of 13 states and 3 federal territories separated by the South China Sea into regions: Peninsular Malaysia and Borneo's East Malaysia. Peninsular Malaysia shares a maritime and land border with Thailand and a maritime border with Singapore, Vietnam and Indonesia. East Malaysia shares lands and maritime borders with Brunei and Indonesia, and a maritime border with the Philippines and Vietnam. Malaysia's largest city and national capital is Kuala Lumpur, while Putrajaya is where the government is located. Malaysia originates from the Malay Kingdoms, which were a British colony from the 18th century until 1957, when it obtained its independence. Malaysia is a multi-ethnic and multicultural country. About half of its population is Malay, while the minority is Chinese, Indians, and indigenous people. Its official religion is the Islam, but it has freedom of religion. Malaysia is home to many natural wonders, with many of them rooted in legends, many of them even Disney-worthy. Well, some of them may need a few tweaks to avoid giving nightmares to some. So now I'll try to talk about a few that I managed to recollect. The first history that I constantly found was about 6 City 1 Kembang. I'm not really sure how much of a legend it is because there are actually historical records about her. She's known as a warrior princess. It is believed that she ruled during the 16th century in the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. The term warrior princess is constantly used while describing her because of the tales about how she rode to battle with a sword in hand, followed by her army of female horse riders. She never got married, and when she was 25, she adopted a girl by the name of Puteri Sadong, which is believed to have had mystic powers, and that actually sounds like a legend in the making. The warrior princess is depicted with a pair of muntjacs, which is known as barking deer, and was supposed to be the queen's favorite pet. She ruled Kelantan, one of the states of Malaysia, for over 30 years. Well, the actual legend and the interesting part of all that is that people says that she never actually died and just moved to a mystical world and reappears from time to time. Another famous legend is Puteri Gunung Ledang. By the way, Puteri is princess in Malay, while Gunung Ledang is an actual place, namely Mount Ophir. So one way to name this legend will be the Princess of Mount Ophir. This legend is probably one of the most famous legends in Malaysia, and was made a movie in 1961 and 2004, but I doubt that any of you has actually seen it. At the same time, it is a famous musical in Singapore and Malaysia. This story tells about a princess who lives in seclusion in Gunung Ledang and a sultan who has heard about her beauty and wanted her. In response to the betrothal request from the sultan, the princess gave him 7 difficult tasks to prove his love. The conditions were a golden walkway for her to walk to Malacca from the mountain, a silver walkway for her to return from Malacca to the mountain, 7 barrels of tears from virgin girls, for her to bath, 7 barrels of young betel nut juices from the betel tree, also for her to bath, 7 trays filled with the hearts of germs, 7 trays filled with the hearts of mosquitoes, and finally, a bowl of the blood of the only son of the Sultan. All the conditions were said to be impossible, but in the end the Sultan, with determination, fulfilled all the requests except for the last one. He stopped just before sacrificing his son for a cup of blood. The whole point of the story was that the Sultan was either too proud or too blind to notice that all her requests were just a polite way to turn him down. It is said that some remnants of the silver and golden bridges remain, but were reclaimed by the forest or can only be seen from the spirit world. The third legend that I want to talk about is Puteri Ulek. The name Ulek Mayang is actually a dance that is performed as a healing ritual for fishermen afflicted by illness caused by sea spirits. It all originated from a legend of the sea princess. According to the legend, a sea princess fell in love with a fisherman who was caught in a storm off the coast of Terengganu. This legend has many similarities to the Little Mermaid that everyone knows, but like many real folk tales, it has a dark twist, and that is that she actually stole his soul and left the man in a semi-conscious state. A Bomo or Malay shaman was consulted to summon the sea princess and make her release the soul. However, the sea princess fought back and even called the help of her sisters. It was only when the oldest and wisest princess, named Ulek, appeared that she ordered that his soul must be released, and that is how the dance came to be. The fourth legend that I want to bring in is about Puteri Santubong and Puteri Sejinjang. They were allegedly daughters of heaven, brought to earth with the purpose of ending the war between two villages. The only condition was that they could not quarrel within them. The first one was skilled in embroidering and weaving, while the second one was skilled in harvesting. All was good and well. They brought harmony and prosperity to those two villages, until both fell in love with Prince Serapi, and they began to fight. The gods' anger turned them into mountains. Some says that Gunung Santubong looks like a woman lying down. Others said that Gunung Sejinjang is surrounded by 3 islands because her head was smashed to pieces with a pole. Now for the fifth and last legend that I would like to bring to the table is the history about Puteri Saleha. This is a tragic story, well, like many in the Malay folklore. Princess Saleha was the daughter of the Sultan Sulaiman Shah from the 16th century. The princess was so beautiful and pure that the blood she drew was white. She had a sister, Mariam, who was just as beautiful, but with red blood. Her unique beauty caught the eyes of Prince Aceh, who was so obsessed by her that threatened to attack Kedah Saleha's estate unless he could marry her. Because he didn't know how she looked like, Mariam was sent in her place, but was discovered when she cut herself while preparing battle. The prince waged war on the state and sent his warriors to bring the princess to him. The Sultan, knowing that the state was no match for the kingdom, hid the princess in an underground bunker where no soldier, nor even the moonlight, could find her. Unlucky for her, the Sultan died in the war and the princess was never found, and starved to death in the bunker. She is also known as Puteri Lindungan Bulan, that translates to Princess Protected by Moonlight, because of the dark hidden place that took her life. I can't avoid thinking of the irony of her demise. As you can see, princesses are a common topic amongst Malay folklore. Many mountains and lakes are tied to at least one legend about a princess. There is supposed to be at least one in every state of Malaysia, which is a very interesting fact. Malaysian folklore is really rich and can be covered in just a few minutes. And there isn't only princess legends, there are some about animals and spirits, much like any other country. A lot of Malaysian legends try to be some kind of fable, trying to leave a teaching of the sorts, even the ones that have some truth in them. Maybe the truth was somewhat covered to achieve this. Malaysia, like I said before, is really multicultural country, which probably have affected the type of beliefs that people has, like many mentions to the spirit world, which is similar to what Chinese people and Indian people believe in. I just wonder if any of the histories we know were maybe inspired by this type of legends, but I guess it's hard to know. And with this, I would like to end this presentation about Malaysia and a few of its legends. Thanks for your attention.